Education in the third induction. Before we start our program, I would like to thank our guests, Mr. Peter Morris, Mr. David Chadwick, our President, Mr. Toha Qureshi, and our Principal, Ms. Jo Clemente. Thank you very much for joining us today and giving us a helping hand to make this event very successful. Now, I'd like to introduce our guests to all of you. Mr. Peter Morris, he's the Head of Partnership Department at the University of Greenwich. Mr. David Chadwick, he's the Coordinator and Senior Lecturer at Computer Security and Audit Center at the University of Greenwich. Ms. Jo Clemente, she's our Honorary Principal. She's also an Advisor and Assessor of Investors in People. Mr. Toha Qureshi is the President of Institute of Information Risk Management. He's also the President of London College of Business Information Technology at Stockwell Green Community Service in Campbell in South London. As you are all aware about today's event, this has been arranged by our Head of Establishment, Mr. Junaid Ilahi. The purpose of getting all of you here today is to confer the postgraduate diplomas to those who have completed PGD from Institute of Information Risk Management and to introduce the new students with our campus, management, faculty and facilities. We would also introduce you with the University of Greenwich staff. They will explain to you the procedure to enroll at the university after completion of our PGD. The Institute of Information Risk Management has an articulation agreement with the University of Greenwich. This agreement allows our students to gain entry into the dissertation to obtain the full MSc degree. Only those students will gain entry into the dissertation phase who have done well in PGD and have got good marks. Your attendance will be monitored and cooperation in the class is a must. Now I would like our Principal, Ms. Jo Clemente, to say a few words to our students.
Enrolled with us then have now completed their PG DIP successfully and are here today to receive their certificates. So well done to everybody. Please let me also tell you that these students have successfully gained enrolment at the University of Greenwich and they are now working on their dissertation. Upon the successful completion of their dissertation, the University of Greenwich will award them with a full MSc degree and then they will be eligible to obtain 12 months work permit by the Home Office under the International Graduate Scheme known as IGS. IRM is the pioneer and the only institute in the United Kingdom having alignment with ISACA, Information Systems Audit and Control Association. That was a big mouthful, that one, isn't it? Okay, which are the most demanding professionals with high salary packages all over the world once completed. Excellent relationships with the universities and ISACA mean that our students not only leave with their talents, but also a demanding and unique education to support and build their future careers. Before we started our first academic intake, we were able to obtain an articulation agreement with the University of Greenwich to offer a route to our students to obtain the MSc degree. Apart from degree courses, we also offer teaching professional courses which include CISA, CISM and CISSP, which is Certified Information System and Security Professional. Having any of these professional certificates along with a UK degree, students will be able to obtain a reputable job with a good salary. And for your information, I would just like to tell you that IRM provides free teaching for these qualifications and these professional courses to our postgraduate students, with none other than us offering this across the entire world. IRM is very well experienced and they deliver a quality education. IRM encourage students to affiliate with universities and we invite the lecturers here to work with the students to help them guide through their dissertation. We will guide you all regarding attendance, regarding health and safety, the Institute's terms and conditions and the Home Office requirements tomorrow in your first class. And at the end of the event today, you will have a premises tour and a party, which is very nice. Now I'd like to hand you over to Mr. Peter Morris to say a few words to our students. Mr. Peter is, as we've already heard, the Head of Partnership Department at the University of Greenwich. Hope you enjoy your day.
I'm actually the Director for Collaborations in the School of Computing and Mathematical Sciences. It's another mouthful. And collaborations in the University of Greenwich tends to be led by committee rather than any single person. So each of the schools at Greenwich contribute to collaborations. But the School of Computing and Mathematical Sciences is really quite an innovator in collaborations. We have currently, I think, about 23 centres around the world in countries, and then going outwards to places like Trinidad, which is in the Caribbean, as you know. We are now currently looking at collaborations in India, and we have a partnership with an organisation in India to deliver master's programmes in Pune, Calcutta and Bangalore at the moment. So that is just starting. So we have about just over 1,000 students registered with us at the university at these approved centres around the world, finishing their honours computing degrees or taking a master's programme, such as the one that you will hope to be going on to at Greenwich. So we have quite a lot of experience with collaborations, with taking students from overseas, for example, into the university. Now, as regards you coming into the university, I believe that David has already given some of you a presentation on the University of Greenwich. So you don't need me to go into any more detail, except to say that generally Greenwich is a large university. It has over 20,000 students. More than that, in fact, could be 22,000 students. Probably the largest campus is the Greenwich one at the moment, which is on the historic World Heritage Site of the old Royal Naval College, which has had quite a history. I do encourage you to read about it at some point if you're going to be there. It is a very lovely campus. We are very lucky to have that campus. The Greenwich Foundation that leased the campus to us on I think it's a 99-year lease, something like that, were rather worried that a university was going to take over such a heritage. They thought the students would be running around defacing the buildings and there'd be graffiti everywhere and so on and so forth. That has not been the case at all. The campus is very well maintained. And the students, I think, appreciate having such a good campus. And you'll be hard put to find evidence of any by the people here at IIRM. And we're very pleased actually to be able to grant access to a master's degree for you, having done your PGD. And David is what we might call our specialist in the area of audit security and computer forensics. Is that fair to say, Dave? And he was the one who came and looked at the PGD offered here, looked at the resources and said, yes, this is a good place, good resources. The PGD is very relevant, the content is suitable, and that we can take students with the PGD into our master's programme with confidence. And I think that's the thing. We have confidence in you having been here, taken a PGD. We have confidence in your ability to study at postgraduate level and to come to the university and to do a master's. Now, rather than you coming and applying as individual students, we've taken the view that it's a good idea to look at cohorts of how many students? Is it 11, 12?
12.
It's 12, is it?
12.
So we've got 12 students. We're looking at them as a cohort and saying, here are 12 students with a background of coming from IIRM, and how do we look after those students? We don't want to lose them in amongst the 20-odd thousand students that we've got, which can happen if we're not careful. So David is very kindly, I'm not sure if volunteered is the word, I think it is volunteer, to in this way we're going to be able to look after you as a group at Greenwich. So there'll always be somebody that you know you can go to with problems. The school itself has quite good facilities for looking after students. We have a fully staffed school office that you can just go to. We have a student counter, rather like here I would imagine, and if you have any problems at all, you can simply go to the student counter and the students will put you in touch straight away with somebody in the school office. If you're confident enough to do that, then you would have no problem at all. Okay. Well, I think I won't say too much more because we are running late. So I'll
say a few words.
You can come along to the University of Greenwich and I will be your project supervisor. I will take you through your dissertation or your practical project, whichever you choose. I will be your main contact at the University of Greenwich. Now, 12 of you I know are there with me at the moment. Hopefully you've passed on what you've experienced to some lectures on critical thinking and research methods.
Yes.
Yes, we've got some special lectures for you, and we have some special project lectures for you from another member of staff, Mary, who will be showing you how to actually run your project, how to structure it and so forth. So there's a lot of support that you will get when you come to Greenwich. Of course, you've got to put in some work yourself, all right? It's not just us, you've got to put in that piece of work yourself as you go through the project and deliver it on time. So there are various stages today. I think most of you I've met before and you've been to the campus. Tell the others what it's like, all right? Big buildings, very old buildings, very old lecturers, whatever. Tell them something about that, okay? So we do prime you. Before you come to Greenwich, we will invite you there, we'll take you around the site, we'll show you the facilities that we have, and we'll talk to you about what is actually required in this phase that you're moving to at Greenwich itself. Professional qualifications that you ought to be aiming for while you're here at IRM. Okay, very, very important qualifications. They are the ones that will open up the doors for you in a professional sense, and hopefully it is your masters from Greenwich. So make sure you know those professional qualifications. Make sure that you become a student member of at least one of those relevant organisations. We do recommend ISARCA, the CISA, become a student member of ISARCA. And we'd very much like to see every student who comes to Greenwich to be a student member of ISARCA, because I think that's a very, very good organisation. And of course IRM has a relationship with ISARCA. They prepare you for that professional qualification. When you come to do your project, you have a choice. You can do a dissertation, which is a totally written thing, or you can do a product, what we call a product. You can build a piece of software, something like that. So you have a choice. Okay, I'm not too restrictive on whichever you do. But obviously it's got to be within the area of security, compliance, risk management, audit. Those are the areas that I will supervise in. Right? I don't want to go too far outside those particular areas. So that's what we're looking for. So if you're thinking of coming in January, start now to think about, well, what would I like to do a project in? What kind of project, and what would ISO 27001, all those kinds of things. You'll come across all those terms in your teaching. Think about those kinds of areas. They're the pointers towards where you might want to start doing some research. But there'll be a little bit of research in your project. It's not a question of just sitting down, reading a book and saying, that's a bit, that book says that, and that. I want you to go out and find things and do some things. So if you do a dissertation, I want you to do a questionnaire, a survey, or something like that. Go and visit some people and talk to those people. If you do a product, I want to see you working and building something that has some relevance in the security or compliance area. Because I've been invited as an invited speaker at a conference on spreadsheet risk management, which is one of my particular areas. So if any of you have an interest in spreadsheets or risk managing end user computing, not only have I got a particular interest in that, but we run a conference every year at Greenwich in July on that very area. And we'll have one next July in Greenwich, which you're all invited to. You have to pay, of course. Okay, but you're all invited to it, and you come along. You can see me inviting people and various people from all around the world coming to talk about. In this case, it was spreadsheet risk management. They'll be talking about COVID. They're talking about all these things that you know about Sarbanes-Oxley projects that you do with me. I will push you to do a paper for that conference. And that's something to put down on your CV, isn't it? I gave my paper at the University of Greenwich at this conference. That is something that will be with you for the rest of your life. Right? That you gave an academic paper at an international conference. So think about that. I'm going to push you, all right? Do things that if you're good, if you're doing well, I want you to think about producing an academic paper for a conference. Now that's my own conference at Greenwich. There is also a competition in London for ISARCA London. Now Joe mentioned ISARCA, and IRM have strong connections with ISARCA. I want you to become ISARCA student members, but there is an ISARCA competition in London for the best paper at master's level on information. ISARCA prize next year, which will be delivered in London, usually about November. Okay, there's one coming up shortly, and there you'll meet the education liaison officer for ISARCA in London, which is Susan Milton from the Bank of England, and she'll present you with a prize. Right, so I'm thinking big. Right? You come to Greenwich, you get your master's project, you get your master's award. If you do well and if you're keen, you can go and get yourself an academic paper. Those of you who have not met me before, speak to those who have met me. You'll get the truth. In one of this talk, you'll get the truth from them. They'll tell you it as it really, really is. But I hope that this cohort that's going with me now, the 12 people with me now, we started off, done your objectives, you know where you're going now, and so over the next few weeks we'll start pushing you and getting the staff. I'll be telling you, what you're doing, how well you're doing, and giving you feedback. So do think about that. While you're at IRM, think longer. Think, oh yeah, I'll get my PG dip, my postgraduate diploma, I'm going to get a good mark, then I'm going to go to Greenwich, and I'm going to get that MSc, and I might even think about getting a paper. On your CV, that'll be on your CV.
And I asked you, I said to you, you have entered here to a very, very broad British culture for your master program. On the induction day, I said to you that it is not only a piece of paper what you will be getting. IIRM will be offering you many, many other opportunities. One of the opportunities is to go to the Greenwich University. At the same time, the profile we have, we can help you to devise a project with other multinational companies. Like they were rightly offered, and rightly said that you will be really pushed. But I think he can push you only so far. If you are not willing to move forward, then that push is not going to really work. Another point which Peter mentioned, I would like, from the principal, undertaking?
Absolutely.
Good. So there should be 36 students next year. And all those who have completed, they need to speak to other friends, colleagues, that it is a quality institution, a genuine institution with genuine education and genuine certificates. The final thing, you need to have practical and pragmatic approach. If you have successfully completed your course and got the certificate, but your personal development has not reached to that level what industry out there is looking for, then I'm afraid just a piece of certificate is not going to get you a job. This is my personal observation and experience. So when you are at Greenwich University, and they have extended their helping hand to support you all the way along, and at the university, I would expect our students, the organization, to get this. And when you are at the university, your attendance, your interaction with the teachers, the students, and the offer what David has made earlier on. Who is it? Yourself? All of you? Well done. So David will be in touch then. See where we are. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Qureshi. Now I would like our head of
They're a great helping hand to make this not only event, this institute a very successful institute. When we started, we had only 12, 13 students. Now we all are here. It's make a total of about 40 students. And next year, we are looking on to 100 students because we are going to have very, very close relations with the University of Greenwich, I hope so. And that is another reason the guys from the university are here today, and we're going to discuss more about our further collaborations. My name is Junaid Ilahi, and I'm the head of this establishment and registrar as well. My open doors are always available. You have my name and address, you guys have your handbooks, everything is written in that handbook. You can go through that. Let me know if there's any problem comes up. Now, those students who have finished their postgraduate diploma and are now enrolled with the University of Greenwich, we are going to confer their postgraduate diplomas, and I will request our Principal Joe Clemente and Peter Morris to confer the diplomas to the students. Could I please? Mr. Masood. Thank you very much. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Wasim. Okay, Mr. Muhammad Umar Farooq Awan, please.
A picture.
Thank you, Marie. Thank you very much. He's not feeling well today. Next is Mr. Hamad Saeed Yasin.
Give us a smile now.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Madam.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yunus. Thank you very much.
Well done. Where are you from?
Thank you very much. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Mr. And after that, we'll with the new students, Mr. Peter Morris, because he hasn't seen our premises before. We will have a tour of the building, and the new students can have a look what we have available for them. So then Mr. Peter can also have a look. Now we can have a group photo.